What is good, YouTube? Instant reaction to my Boston Celtics finding their coach very quickly as Brad Stevens will become the GM. Danny Ainge will move in a different direction. I was glad that I met Danny Ainge when I was at Summer League chilling. It was good to meet him as I'm a Celtics fan, and it was also good to see Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum, guys that have played for Ime overseas when they was with Team USA. Already had experience with the guy. He has been a highly touted, highly recruited coach for many, many years. And he's under the Greg Popovich tree. Played for Greg Popovich, coached with Greg Popovich, and he has respect because of that. And I think Ime is coming into a great situation when you have two huge forwards slash guards and Tatum and Brown that have established themselves as great all stars already, and you still have Marcus Smart, who is one of the better defenders in the league and can now knock down shots from time to time. And you have a veteran Al Horford who is very coachable and understands the game and can play well off these guys. And he's a pass first big that can move the ball, stretch the floor, and really give you a different dynamic than what you had last year when you had Robert Williams and those other guys in those areas and spots. But you also have other bigs now with Moses and Taco and Robert and Al Horford than you had the last couple years when you had guys that were respectable, but not where you want them to be ultimately talent wise with this team. And I am a Celtics fan, and I want to see us make more moves as we were just in the conference finals last year, and we want to get back to being a legitimate championship contender. And I do think Ime can help us with that, as we still do have Brad Stevens, who was a good coach for us. But now he's making the personnel moves. He understands that he's a humble guy. He's a guy that you can communicate with. He's a guy that understands the game, has, won at an elite level, getting to two conference finals with less talent, with a lot of talent. And, you know, he didn't get over the hump and win the championship as a coach, but him and Ime will be a great tandem. Ime understands the game. He understands how to have a system. He understands how defense should be ran in a modern basketball, and he does understand how to get the best out of players. And I think that that's something that we need. I still feel like Jason Tatum, who has shown the last 2 years, can be an all NBA caliber player and was last year. And he has also been a multiple time All Star, like I said, but he's been going for 50, 60 points. And I think that if he can do that consistently as an unguardable player while also having the right players around him that can play off of him well and still have Jalen Brown that can defend, get out in transition, and can also create his own shot. Now, it really is, a bright future for the Celtics. Even though we took a huge step back this year, I feel like having Brad Stevens and having Ime in the roles that they are gives us hope that we can have a brighter future than what it looked like at the end of this season, being knocked out in the first round and really just being mediocre at best throughout the entire season, which was a huge disappointment to anybody that's a real Celtics fan. And, we did move on from Kimba, who some people felt that we should have did anyway, and some people thought he fell off. He didn't play well in the playoffs. Then he ended up missing the rest of the playoffs with his injuries. We really don't know what he was going to be. So we just said his best. He don't want to be here, and we hit our ceiling basically with him already because he's not going to be the same Kimba probably ever again because of injuries. And it's time to go in a different direction. It's time to see what we can be. And I think Ime can, help us out a lot. And this is a coach that honestly I wanted. When I heard the people that the Celtics was interested in hiring, I liked all of them, honestly. But Ime probably was at the top. He's a guy that coaches team success and making sure everybody is accountable, making sure everybody knows where to be and what they should be doing. And once we get a little bit more talent on this team to go with Tatum and Brown, the sky is the limit for this team. These guys have already been battle tested. These guys have already worked their butts off to become from role players to being all stars, and they still have another level to go. as a duo, in my personal opinion, and they showed that as both of these guys have took leaps each of the last 3 years every season to me, and now it's time for them, to get ready to become consistent, dominant performers. And, you know, now it's time to see if they can do that. So, Ime, I think this is a huge win for us. Probably one of the top 5 coaches that's available. Um, and this is a guy that we really get to see. Is he really as good as we think he is? Is he really worthy of it? Well, he's going to have talent. He's going to have star power, and he's going to have a chance to really make his mark in this league as a head coach. He's been doing a lot of stuff underground and doing a lot of stuff as an assistant, but now it's time for him to take his game to the next level and really either prove us that he is what we think, or show us that he is what he think, or maybe he's not. We don't know. You have to take a gamble. You have to make that. You have to take that chance. And Brian Stevens is picking a guy that we all ready to see, a respectable coach that has a lot of high praise from everybody around the league, and it's good to lock him up. I don't know how many years it is yet, but I'm looking forward to this. I'm excited right now as a Boston fan, and seeing that Brad Stevens made a move when the playoffs isn't even over. Seeing that Brad Stevens made a move when the lottery didn't even come yet at that time when he traded Kimba shows you that Brad Stevens is ready to go now. He's not looking at it 2, 3 years from now. He's not looking at it 4 years from now. Brad Stevens is trying to turn his team into a championship team now. And it's important because Tatum and Brown are getting into their extensions that they signed, and they're going to be at big numbers. And they're going to be playing great basketball like they have done so far. And you want to capitalize on that and try to win as quick as you can, and also take advantage of the fact that you have this type of talent already, and get the full advantage of it. So it's an exciting time right now. We went from having a lot of lows this year and a bad year, honestly, to now. I'm excited. I'm excited right now with these moves, and I'm excited now with this coaching hire that we can take it to another level next year. Let's get everybody ready for a big 2022 season. And this is so far a good start for Brad Stevens. So he did 2 things that I like and I respect, and he's building up my confidence that he could be a GM. A lot of people question his decision making and is he really fit for it? He has never done it before. But Brad Stevens, he watches a lot of basketball. He loves this game. He needs this game because it's so grilled in his body. And those are the type of guys that you want drafting. Those are the type of guys you want around because they willing to enhance or willing to allow you to reach a level that you normally couldn't hit. And having him in Ime is just marvelous right now. This really truly can be the start of something special in Boston. And that's what you want to see. If you're a fan and that's what you want to see after the year that we just had this season. So I really want to know what he's going to do with Marcus Smart too, because Marcus Smart is an interesting guy that's almost up for his next extension. Hasn't really showed that he's an all-star. Hasn't really showed that he can be an elite offensive player, but has a lot of well-roundedness in other areas, becoming more of a jack of all trades. And even though we all have love for his heart and his energy that he brings and his intensity on both ends of the court, it is time to see what we're going to do with this entire team, as we're basically looking at 2 guys we definitely going to keep, and other guys are going to be rotating throughout these years around them. And I really want to know what he's going to do with Marcus Smart. He's coached them, and he knows what he's about, and he knows how important he has been to this franchise. But we also know that we only got so many moves that we can make, and the only way we can really hit that next level is probably letting go of Smart. We did open up some money getting rid of Kimba, but paying Smart, paying Fournier, I don't really think that that's the best idea for a championship team. But moving both of them for that third legitimate guy may be the move we need to make. It's just finding who that guy is and getting them to come to Boston. And we got some brand that we gotta, dust up. Danny Ainge had a lot of guys that don't want to come, don't respect us, don't really want to be a part of this. But Brad Stevens and Ime can change that, and so can Tatum and Brown with their play, with winning, and also showing them that we're different. This is a different team. This is a different identity now that things have changed, and that can open people's eyes to want to come to Boston. But we just got to start off with a great start and build upon that throughout seasons of war, and we just have to see where this goes. Other than that, I'm excited. I'm happy. I like it. All Celtics fans should too. Like I said, this is one of the best ones that you could get, and we got them committed. Now we just have to see how the cookie crumbles the next couple of weeks and the next couple of months as we're getting ready for free agency and off season. Our season is over, and now we're looking for a brighter future. And we have one of the brightest young duos. Now it's about how we can capture the Larry O'Brien again with them. Other than that, Quinn Wade, Basketball Now signing out. See y'all later.